and well sites. And like I said, this regulation, Senate Bill 186, was effective June the 24th. And what you need to know is that if you've got a well that was drilled prior to June 24th, it's grandfathered in. It's not subjected to these new requirements, especially the REC plan. So we've had a lot of questions about that. But the new requirements after June 24th, and there again, this was directed to those operators that have no experience with reclamation plans. As part of the permit package, obviously 3 well plats, an ED10, and up until the end of August, we're going to use the current ED10. After that date, we'll be going to the operations and reclamation plan, and both of those forms are available on our website. And attached to that is the entire disturbed area, both the well site and access road. And that completes our overview of Senate Bill 186. Any questions? Hey, Mike.
You made a comment in your presentation that a new individual well permit in South Central or anywhere that was not on several numbers, that you wouldn't release that bond as well as plug until the reclamation was done.
Right. That's the
contention within our work group with COGA that we would only agree to reclamation bonding on deep wells. Are you now saying that individual shallow well bonds are in essence reclamation bonds?
No. No, what we meant, the deep wells, the reclamation, we can use some of that bond money for reclamation. But for shallow wells, we don't have any money to do reclamation ourselves. So that is just for plugging.
But if you're not going to release the bond after the well's plugged until the reclamation is done, in essence, you're instituting reclamation bond.
Well, we just need to make sure that they have fulfilled their agreement or their requirements on their ED10 form.
Any other questions?
But Marvin, and Kim, that is one thing what Mike brings up is, is probably the newest piece of the ED10 for those of us that have been using them, is that you all are going to require some kind of verbiage as to final closure of the site, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, it is on the operations and reclamation plan.
That's laid out in more detail in the regulation,
right.
Which, you know, is in the process of being promulgated.
And Mike, it's not specific, right? We don't really...
What's not specific?
Your point, it's got to get done, which triggers it to the bond, but it's not specific as to what has to be done.
Well, if we're going to not release the bond,
it's got a...
It's reclamation bond.
Yeah.
Well, it's not reclamation bond in that we can forfeit that bond and then use it to reclaim a site. We're not going to be able to do that on the shallow wells. It's just the deep wells that we can use that bond money to help reclaim.
I understand.
Yeah.
But you're holding a bond.
Yeah.
You all don't agree that the operator has reclaimed properly. It's reclamation bond.
Well, I mean, it's just like any other requirement that...
Do you feel like you could forfeit that bond if you didn't agree with the operator that reclaimed properly?
If they didn't reclaim the site, yes, we could cite a violation and
Under the
proceed with
language, you
forfeiture.
can.
Any other questions?
And I talked to Marvin earlier this morning, in your inundation of permits, if under the frac note of the new frac regulation, if you submitted a permit and it was issued prior to that June 24th date, then you're under the old regulations that do not have
That's what I understand.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
even though you may drill the well after June 24th.
That's correct. And we've actually been a little generous. We went by if we received it on June 23rd or earlier. You know, it may have taken us a few days to actually get it issued, but If it was in our door on June 23rd or earlier, then we're going to go with the old rules.
Yeah, when we implemented the requirements of 186, we decided to go with what's called a soft start to try to work with the operators. If it's a minor issue that we can address, we'll go ahead and do that. Just talk to them on the phone, get their understanding of what we need to see on that permit application to address the requirements of 186. So we work with the operators as they submit these applications.
Dave, do you have a question?
Yeah, have you decided if any of these reclamation documents are going to be posted on the KPS website?
No, they don't.
Might serve as an example for operators to see what's acceptable and what's not?
No, I mean, we didn't send the severed mineral documents over, so we'll probably just keep those in-house. But, you know, they are public record, so if someone wants to file a request for a copy of one, it's releasable. Is that it? Yes, Mike?
In conjunction with what you said regarding transfers, that there's a statement on there that we're going to accept the responsibility of reclamation.
Mm-hmm.
To what degree are we accepting the responsibility of reclamation? I mean, that goes along with Mike's.
As the permit requirements on the reclamation plan submitted by the original operator. Whatever those requirements are, when you transfer that well and take it over, then you're assuming those reclamation requirements.
So they were grandfathered in, whatever.
They're not, yeah, they're
Yeah.
not. I mean, that's, yeah, that's similar to what's already been required for severed minerals. If you transfer a severed mineral, then you have to state that you're going to accept those, the reclamation plan that was submitted.
Correct. But
Yeah.
if it wasn't ADT and if it wasn't severed mineral, and you
So you're saying if there's a well transfer that doesn't have a reclamation plan, no, you don't have to file a new one? Yeah. Is that it? Thank you.